Hi, Phil Aston here with another unboxing video, and this is one I've really looked forward to doing. This is the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band and Still Barking. Still Barking. This is one of these massive, huge, ginormous box sets from Madfish Records. And it is absolutely stunning. But let's show you inside, because then you can see for yourself what makes this box set so special. So this is a look inside Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band's absolutely huge box set, limited edition 20 disc box set, 17 CDs, including remasters for all the albums, the rare and previous unreleased recordings on CD, BBC sessions, 3 DVDs with brilliant footage in colour, and a 148 page hardback book and lots of other goodies. So let's have a look inside, and I'll see if I can do my best to fit this on the screen. This is an enormous Madfish box, so you can see here the depth of it, the absolute size and width and girth of this book. So as with most Madfish sets, the lids come off like opening an iPhone. The first thing in the box is a press release from the 12th of October 1967 introducing the band and the members of the band themselves. Vivian Stanshall, Sam Spoons, Vernon Dudley Bohey, Neil Innes, Roger William Ruskin Spear, Larry Smith and Rodney. And then we have a set of prints that are signed by the surviving members of the band. So Larry Smith has signed that one. Vivian is sadly no longer with us. Roger is, and Rodney and Vernon at the back playing the bass. There was also a poster, which I'll bring up on the screen now because it's quite large and not easy for me to open up in front of the camera. And then we have some colourful prints, which I'll show you, which are kept together with this little ribbon. That's print number 1 and 2 and 3. Then we have the book, which I'll show you last of all, and the albums are at the bottom of the box. And you can see that they're all nicely put together with, again, with a little ribbon around them, which I'll take off to make it easy for me to show you. And they're not necessarily in any order because I've been playing these. Tadpoles, they've all got gatefold sleeves, and that has a bonus track on it. And then we've got demos and outtakes, gatefold sleeve with all the track listings on the back, absolutely packed with tracks. The Donuting Granny's Greenhouse is next. This is in mono and stereo, gatefold. Gorilla, which is the album me and my friends all had from school, stereo and mono. Live, nice pictures there, and the CDs are just kept within the sleeves themselves. There's no inner sleeves or anything like that. So there's 3 gigs there, one from the Fillmore East 69, another one from Amsterdam 69, and 2 actually from Amsterdam 69, and then BBC sessions. This is a triple CD with all the sessions on the back there, absolutely packed. And then the last one also has this ribbon around it, so I'll just take one out to make it easy for me to slip that off. And this is Let's Make Up and Be Friendly, gatefold sleeve with bonus tracks. Keesham, again all gatefold sleeves, absolutely tons of tracks on there. The Singles, gatefold sleeve. How many tracks are on that? 27. DV1 Starters. Now this is, I think for a lot of people, was going to be one of the highlights of the set. So New Faces, Pathé footage from 1967, The Beat Club from 67 to 69, and Star Parade from 1968. DVD 2, The Main Course, Do Not Adjust Your Set, 1967 to 68. So this is got absolutely wonderful footage on, going up to I'm the Urban Spaceman. DVD 3, Dessert. Lots of photos from the videos on the gatefold. Colour Me Pop from 1968. I can't pronounce that, so I'm going to try to, but anyway, it's from the Berlin Jazz Festival from 1969, and also some stuff from 1969 called 10 Years of What. Also in this section is Madness at the Manor, live at the Marquee Club, which is again lots of live material, and then in the studio Bonzo Backings, which features lots of outtakes in mono or and stereo. So that's a look at the discs themselves. So now let's look at the book. So see if I make enough room so you can see it. This is a typical Madfish coffee table book, and this is where they completely excel. No one does anything like this, and you should be able to see everything as I go through it. So we've got a quote here from Eric Idle. So if you like Monty Python, you're going to like the Bonzos. Contents, but I'm not going to read all that out. I'm just going to go quickly through so you've got a feel for the book. Yvonne Ennis does the introduction. The photos are fantastic, and if you're into the late 60s, this whole period of the wonderful creative spirit of that time, and where literally so many people were coming up with so many different and creative ways of taking culture forward from where it was at that point in the post-war years, really. Rodney Slater. The photographs are amazing. Period pieces, but just superb. Roger Ruskin Spear, The Wrong Dog, A Perilous Journey from the Suburban Bun Shop to the Fillmore West. Just amazing stuff. Joys of Travel, Legs Larry Smith, who I'm hoping I might be able to talk to soon. Tom Parkinson. Pete Townsend says a few words. John Entwistle. Chris Welch. There's a lot of jazz in here. John Gorham, David Christie, Andy Roberts. Lots of posters from the period as well. Imagine that, Grateful Dead and the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band on the same bill. Led Zeppelin and the Bonzos on the same bill. Eric Idle and Chris Welch again. David Glasson, some beautiful pictures there. Chris Welch again. So lots of articles from the period as well. Lots of cuttings. Absolutely marvellous stuff. If you're a fan of the band or want to explore more, this is wonderful. And again, with the way Madfish do this, you know, that where as you go through each album, that the album literally life size is presented within the book. So it really gives you the sense of having the album on your lap as you listen to it. But we're about just past the halfway point in this book, to give you a feeling for just how detailed it is. But I know that some of the people who bought this already in the Now Spinning Magazine Facebook group and WhatsApp group have said it's one of their favourite box sets of all time, but it certainly is the definitive story of this very unique and very English British band and their sense of humour, you know, sowing the seeds for what would become Monty Python and all that kind of alternative humour really at the time. So it goes right through as we come towards the end of the book here. And then we've got literally a diary of everything from 1966, of everything that the band ever did. Coming all the way back up to when they stopped. So we're still heading through 1972. And then the Bonzos at the Beeb, so a full breakdown of where all those tracks are from. And then the audio content at the back. and the video content, where all that's from, and then the credits to this wonderful book. I just want to see, did I miss something out at the very beginning? I'm not sure if I did I? Yes, the introduction is actually by Stephen Fry. So that's a look inside the box. And now I'll tell you what I think of Still Barking, the huge box set for Madfish for the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. So that's a look inside Still Barking, the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. 20 disc box set. It's absolutely huge. If you're wondering how come I can throw it around so easily, it's because I've emptied it for the purpose of this review. But I just love it. Okay, and the reason why I want to put this across is that, okay, first of all, this isn't going to be for everybody. This is not going to be for everyone. If you like Monty Python, if you go for nostalgia for the late 60s and early 70s, quirky, off the wall, avant-garde humour, jazz, then the doors will open for you. How did I get exposed to the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band? Was this the first time? No. And many people of my generation will have come to this band via this. Gorilla. Dedicated to King Kong, who must have been a great bloke. And I reckon many people who watch this video bought this. It was cheap. This was a reprint on the Sunset record label. And why? Because of the song called the intro and outro. Val Doonican as himself. The Sound of Music was the other one that I used to play to frighten my parents. Big Shot. Tons of stuff. And then, of course, the absolutely bonkers jazz stuff. That was my introduction to the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. Now, when I said I was going to review this, lots of people reached out to me who've already bought it and who said it's possibly their favourite box set in their collection. And I think that's because of the way people feel towards the people that created this mayhem, this lunacy, and also the way it has been put together. You know, the intro in the book is from Stephen Fry, and he says what a great influence the guys have had on him. The book itself, 150 odd pages, the photography, the love that has gone into this is just incredible. There's all the discs, which I'll touch on. I'll touch on some of them, and because I know some of you want to know about all the outtakes and the quality and all that kind of stuff. And there's the autographs of all the surviving members of the band, because so many have passed now. But this is again something that Madfish do in these sets, and it really brings it home to you. You know, that so many. Neil Innes there, who's no longer with us, and then we do have autographs of some of the members, and you saw the press release and the other pictures and the poster, etc. And of course the main thing is the book. The book is a massive part of this set. It's not just pictures, it's not just cuttings, it's not just a story that's being academically put together. It's a story that's been put together with absolute love for the musicians, for the time, for the albums, for the whole scene. And it really does make a difference. I find this so much with Madfish sets, that as I immerse myself in the book, at first I flick through it and you think, oh, it's nice pictures and whatever. And it's when you start to really read it and listen to the contents of the set that you start to realise this is not what you expect. You might think, oh, well, it's got an introduction by Stephen Fry, so after that it'll just be the normal stuff. It isn't. Yvonne Innes talks about Neil. It's heartfelt. It's really moving. The pictures are superb, as I've said, and but about when Neil passes away and the build up to that. It's just heartfelt. Vivian Stanshall, an essay by Michael Lovesley, Rodney Slater. It's just everything you want to know about each member of the band. Roger Ruskin's Spear. You've seen him in the unboxing, but as I'm doing the review, I'm looking at this because I was playing it last night. I'm recording this on a Monday, and yesterday, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I was going through tons of it. Legs Larry Smith, The Joys of Travel on the Road with the Bonzo, Sam Spoons. As I went through it, I started to get closer and closer to them. John Entwistle, Pete Townsend. But the other thing I forgot about, but I should have known, is how long it's taken this set to come to fruition. Because at some point, somebody tried to trademark the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band, and they had to fight and prove and get back the branding so they could do this set and be themselves. So when they reformed, someone tried to copyright Doo-Dah, and it literally meant going to court, and poor Neil had passed away by the time they came out the other side, and they got the rights to the name. All of that is in here. And it really brings home it's an absolutely weird part of the history that someone did that. But all of that is in here. And it's just so well put together. Now, a lot of the albums are stereo mono, okay? But you've got the choice. The DVDs, there's tons of footage on there. Some of it is of its time, it shows its age, but it's very watchable. In particular, I'll use the book as reference because it's easier than holding the discs up, I think. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure it is, Phil. Right. DVD starters, Artie Young Man, Blue Peter, with which is fantastic. Great to see that. With John Noakes, he's in that. I'm from the Blue Peter generation. New Faces, Beat Club, Urban Spaceman promo video from the States. The main course is Do Not Adjust Your Set, which is amazing, and you can so much see where Monty Python was watching in the wings there, and in fact they even pop up at certain points as well. And then the Adventures of the Son of the Exploding Sausage. Jazz Bilson, Colour Me Pop, which is great. 10 Years of What, Pick and Tis Winter, lots of stuff. I loved the DVDs. I'm so glad that they're in there. The live concert stuff, the Fillmore East is quite rough quality. It's listenable, it's a bootleg, it's of its time. You may not play that often, but it's there. They've included it. The other live stuff from Amsterdam is better quality, but it's mono. But again, it's in context. It gives you an insight of what the Bonzos were like live. But I find that the DVD stuff did that for me better, really. The BBC sessions is all fascinating stuff and great stuff. And then we've got the radio clubs. There's tons of BBC stuff. Absolutely tons of BBC stuff. And Rehearsals, Madness at the Manor is really good, really funny. Live at the Marquee Club in 1967. Lots of demos and outtakes. And then a CD full of all the singles. And of course the albums speak of themselves. But as someone who came in by this, I knew the albums, which I'll touch on as alternatives that you might want to explore with this. But A Donut in Granny's Greenhouse, Tadpoles, Keynsham, and Let's Make Up and Be Friendly. As the band progressed, it became more pop or kind of rock orientated. The humour's still there. It's not as kind of off the wall and mad as Gorilla. But my favourite albums are We Are Normal's one of my favourite tracks, by the way. Off the Donut in Granny's Greenhouse is one of my favourites, I think. I also like Keynsham. I really like that. Noises for the Leg. We Were Wrong. Let's Make Up and Be Friendly. Tadpoles, Hunting Tigers in India. Monster Mash, I'm an Urban Spaceman is on that, when they became pop stars. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. And because there's so many people have been interviewed, so many people are telling their story. I can see why someone who's really a huge fan of the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band would see this as one of the best box sets in their entire collection, or something they're just so pleased that they bought. I can feel that. There's so much to explore here. If you're a casual fan, you're not going to jump this far in, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, I know quite a few people in the Now Spinning Facebook group said, yeah, but I've got this 3 CD set. I don't need all of that. And I can understand why you would say that. But if you are a fan of all the key characters that made up this wonderful, eccentric, British phenomenon that is the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band, then this is the kind of way to celebrate that band. And Madfish do this better than anyone else. I've said this before, and I don't mind saying it again, because I talk to a lot of music business people and go backwards and forwards with them sometimes. And I think there are some teams that sit around the table and they discuss about what they don't have to put in the box. You know, what could they get away with leaving out? Is anyone really going to make that much? Is anyone really going to care? And I've seen box sets where, you know, the booklet has been compromised. I'm not going to mention any names, but albums which have been, you know, 2 albums have been put on disc, and the artwork has been compromised because they haven't bothered including it. All sorts of things. But this, with Madfish, that never happens. I think there's someone sitting up the corner, and I think I know who that might be, who keeps saying, what else could we put in it? There's room for another one. There's room for something else here. Can we just hang on a minute until we've got everything? And that is how this feels. It's been put together. I mean, the whole box itself, the artwork on it, it's just beautiful. So some of you have already got this. Let me know, what are your favourite parts of this box set? What is it that you really loved about the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band? If you're completely have no idea what this band is about, where would I tell you to go and stream something? Where would I tell you to start? Canyons of My Mind, the intro and outro. Start there, because it's mad. It's mad for Madfish. It's Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. It's still barking. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know, as I said, what you think of this set, if you bought it, what you think of the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. It's just interesting, believe it not. But thank you for watching. Remember, music is the healer. It makes us laugh, it makes us smile, it makes us feel good inside. And this is one of those sets that does that. So take care, all of you. Keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.